I'm a son of a sinner, searching for new ways I can get gone. I'm a pedal to the highway. If you ever wonder why we write these songs.
Boom! We are live here from the Cleaner Studio, coming at you at episode number 15 of the Cleaner Cast. Back at it another week with another great guest. Small business, of course, in the detailing world. We got Proper Detailing Co. here. We're going to talk all things brushes. But first and foremost, I got to tell you, we are available as a podcast on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you give us a subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite platform. And we have some reviews, but first, I got to bring on the one and only Canadian cohort. He is Mr. Alex Dewar at Bucky VW. What's going on, friend?
Hello. I hope everyone enjoyed Jamie's new intro. That's something pretty good.
Hopefully I didn't blow out some eardrums. It was pretty loud in my headphones.
That's all right. Work in progress.
I have to adjust that in post. Yep. Yeah, brought us some real music. Got rid of that little jingle that the stock gives us.
Yeah.
Figured I'd put a little effort into that.
Nothing stock about this.
No. Got some detailing action in there for you. Some hard-hitting country music or country pop music.
I can't believe we're already on episode 15. 15
I know,
weeks.
yeah. We're chugging along.
Yep.
Making the darn thing happen. You ready to read some reviews before we forget again?
Yeah, apologies to those that left reviews that weren't read. That's completely on us. So,
last week I had some quick trigger fingers. Brought David on early.
Yep,
and just got to going pretty quickly. But I'll read two. I'll read the two we missed last week, and then I'll toss it to you.
Yeah, I'll read those second two you sent me. Yeah.
So here we go, and we got a 5-star review, people. That's what I'm talking about. 2 of them. We got from Baker's Dad. We got great show. Just found you recently and pumped on the content. Solid, entertaining show. That's what we try and bring every week. Just a solid, entertaining show.
Yeah.
And we got Dustin Guard. Shout out to Dustin Guard from the Detail Spot. He has a podcast. You should go check it out and drop 5 stars on his pod. We'll have him on sooner or later, I'm sure. He says, great listen. 5-star review also. I've had a hard time finding podcasts that I really want to listen to. I generally listen to 1 episode of a podcast a day, and this one has made it into my rotation. I highly recommend giving this a listen. Thank you, Dustin. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much. So we got a couple from this week.
Yes.
So the first one's from Dan Hunsinger. I'm a retired detailer. I'm a retired detailer from the 90s. I know detail is a hobby and love it more now than when I was professional. Your podcast is great, and I enjoy your take on products and the people in the industry. Thank you for your hard work. I look forward to each episode. So big shout out to Dan Hunsinger, 5 stars. Excellent. That's what we like to see. And then another 5-star review from Hillbilly Dog. Very unique name. Love the content reviews, the guests, the whole dang thing. Keep it up. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Hillbilly Dog. A little bit of a southern spice there, I think. So that's got a couple firsts and seconds. Mike's out of details in town. 23 do the do.
Oh, is my green screen not working on y'all's computers?
I think it looks just fine. Might be a mic issue. Not a microphone, a mic. Michael.
You get to take a look into the cleaner nursery then, because that's where I am.
Yep.
Haven't set out a podcast room yet, but
so big shout out to those. Big shout out to those reviews. Studio. 5 stars. Keep them.
Yes,
I don't think we've had anything less than 5 stars. So.
Not yet. We're gonna keep chugging along. Hopefully, keep getting 5-star reviews, and hopefully, make a little something out of this podcast.
Yep.
But we do it with great guests, and this week's guest is another great guest is what I'm trying to get to.
Very excited for this one.
Yes, I've been using their brushes. They just released some new brushes lately.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's more coming soon. And this is Matt from Proper Detailing Co., the brush company. So, hello, Matt. How's it going?
All right. Hey, guys.
Hello, Matt.
Mike's Auto says best brushes in the industry.
Yeah, it might be the
He
biggest-
tried to spell best brushes, but Mike's had a long day. I'm sure the fingers are a little
Yeah, that's
little
correct.
big
I
on
just
that keyboard.
corrected.
Yeah.
There we go. He corrected. Best brushes in the industry.
There we go. Mike needs a
Could be
Corona
beat.
and to put his feet up.
Hey, thanks,
So,
Mike.
Could be beat brushes in the industry. You don't know.
beat other brushes. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, I have Get Proper with Proper Detailing Co. I was supposed to throw that up.
There
So
we go.
Matt,
go.
tell us your job position, Proper Detailing Co., and maybe a little backstory how you got this company started.
Yeah, absolutely. So back in 2018, I started detailing part-time. So I was detailing in my garage in Richmond, Virginia, doing it part-time in the evenings, actually about 5 days a week, do the corporate job during the day, then come home and detail at night. And you know, as everybody knows, it's hard on your body. So when you're working a full-time job and then going to detail after work, you're kind of worn out. So I wanted to, I had to scale it back a little bit because of an injury. So I decided, you know, I love this business. I love the people in it. So I'm going to launch a product line. So I kind of launched the product line in 2020. So about 2 years now in business. Yeah, it's been great. I mean, you know, I get a lot of positive support from guys like Mike, you know, Mike's Auto Detailing, that really kind of motivate me to keep going. But about 2 years now. So I'm a one-man show, just me right now. So
Very cool.
Hey, sometimes that's the way to go. I think
Yeah.
you're our second one-man show to join us on the cast, so that's pretty awesome. Chasing the dream, and you know, not working for the man, getting your own company started. I think that's pretty cool.
yeah, that is the dream.
Indeed. So you don't have a physical online store. You use Amazon to sell these
Yeah,
brushes?
so Amazon was kind of the first place to go, just because, you know, you have access to so many customers. It's a great way to launch a product. But I actually do have a website, so it's
Oh, you do?
properdetailing.com.
Okay. There you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I was
you know,
on there
it's like-
earlier. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you know, not the best thing in the world, but it works for now. I'm hoping to kind of upgrade it probably later on this year. Get something a little more user friendly and some more content on there.
So, brushes. Why detailing brushes was the avenue? Did you see something in the industry that maybe you were like, I think this is the way to go? Did you not like the brushes, or did you think there was just like a gap? I think there was a gap in the kind of the brush game. You were either too cheap, like you're getting Amazon brushes, or you went straight to Detail Factory, which was kind of a big expense to start out buying, you know, when you're early in your detailing game. What did you see?
Yeah. So you hit the nail on the head. I thought there was an opportunity there to offer a decent brush that is, you know, less than $20 that you can, you know, add to the arsenal, and it's going to last a while. You know, a lot of the brushes are relatively similar, but I mean, you guys have probably seen the ones that are $8, $9, $10 on Amazon. They can fall apart in the first use. Sometimes they last, sometimes they don't. It's very hit or miss. So when I was working with manufacturers, I was looking to basically find something that had a solid handle and somebody that would actually work with me, where we could talk about how much weight or consistency in bristles. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, this brush and that brush didn't have, you know, different bristle density, because if it's not packed tight in there, they're going to start falling out. So I finally found a company that would work with me kind of and do exactly what I wanted, very receptive. And I was like, I think we can get these definitely less than $20. So yeah, I just saw an opportunity there. I think Detail Factory brushes are obviously, they're a great product, but, you know, pushing $30, it's, you know, they're pretty pricey, but you pay for, you know, so.
Yeah. And even not just picking on Detail Factory, but work stuff, the microfiber madness, you know, wheel brushes. I mean, this stuff gets pretty crazy expensive, especially, you know, in those early days of starting, you know, your detailing hobby or business. I remember going through, you know, a couple packs of those Amazon brushes, you know, 6-8 years ago. Just horrible. The wooden handles start molding pretty fast, and the bucket They fall apart immediately. Just about. You get about four good ones that aren't even good. They're just like half decent, and then the other 6 you get in the kit just fall apart pretty much immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
And so just horrible. And then you'll see them pop up in other companies trying to start their brush line or something. I think Max Shine had some Amazon brushes early on in Max Shine. They were just as bad. So I think you nailed it jumping into the brush game, looking for this zone. I don't know what we're calling this, but I think it's the perfect place to be.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, when we first, the first production run that I ordered was of 1,500 sets. And I went through every single one of them, like literally one by one, because, if you're going to launch a product, and your brand depends on it, it better be decent. So, and I remember throwing away, a few hundred of them and, kind of talking to the manufacturer saying, hey, like this isn't going to work. That's not going to work. And as you kind of build a relationship with them, they realize the quality that you expect. And, everybody has access to Amazon. So they can see, it growing and the reviews coming in, and they're like, okay, so this is working. So they're more receptive to work with me. So after about 3 or 4 runs, they finally got, my expectations pretty clear. And so it's
nice.
Pretty consistent at this point. So like if you order a set of the Boar's Hair brushes, you're going to get pretty much the same thing every time. So
very cool.
Yeah. There you go. Martin Gonzalez chiming in on some other companies' brushes. Just throwing that up there. But the proper detailing, Chemical Guys.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I should know that.
Jamie, what you touched on was, I've seen the Amazon brushes with the wood handles, and I don't know how that ever made sense, just with the chemicals in the water. Like, I'm like, why was that ever? I mean, to me, a plastic or polyethylene type brush just seems to make so much more sense. Mm-hmm. And, not only that, but like the wood, it's because it's so porous, it stains so easily. And it's like, they're good for about 5 seconds, right? But I just never understood water and wood. That doesn't make sense to me, especially for brushing with chemicals too, right?
You have to have some kind of lacquer coating on it, to prevent, to cover up those pores, and then it just gets expensive to manufacture at the point. But I agree with you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the name Proper Detailing Co. How'd you come up with that?
Yeah, I just kind of came to me. One day I was sitting there thinking I need a name for the business. I really love detailing because at first I didn't have a name. I was just kind of word of mouth. Like I think like a lot of guys start. Hey, I know a guy that can detail that for you, that kind of thing. And I was like, well, I need to make this official because I think this is this is what I want to do. I want to get out of the corporate world. So I was just thinking about it one day. I can't recall the exact inspiration for Proper, but it kind of hit me, and I was like, that's it. And of course, the first thing you do is you're like, let me go online and make sure it's not already taken.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I like to think, when you're using these brushes, you gotta pinky out the proper detailing way.
There you go.
Yeah. So I think you nailed it with the design of the handles. Stuff like that. They just look good. They're very eye-catching and appealing brushes in an affordable lane. So
appreciate that.
One thing I liked is
perfect.
One thing I liked when looking on the website was just the size of the hole to hang it on a hook. Because I actually have some brushes. I bought little like magnet hooks to hang up in my cabinet, but I had to put a zip tie on every one of them because it wasn't big enough to hang on the hook how I wanted. And seeing those, because it looks like it's actually thinner at the top, and then the hole is quite large to kind of hang it up on really anything, which was I thought pretty cool.
Yeah, pegboards. If you have one in your van or your shop, I agree. It's the way to go. Even if you make something with like wooden pegs, it'll hang on there. So
very cool.
Appreciate that.
So I feel like the handles have a unique design to them too. I don't see too many, everybody has the Detail Factory brush handle pretty much. So how did you come across finding the Proper detailing handles?
Yeah, so funny story. Those brushes have been around in the paintbrush industry in Europe for probably 20 or 30 years. So that is, I can't take credit for that design. It just happened to be one of those things where you start buying stuff from overseas and you're trying out different samples, seeing what works, seeing what you like. But that some of the manufacturers call like the snake handle, because that little, kind of it tapers at one point.
Yep.
It's comfortable in your hand. So yeah, the design itself has been around for a long time, and what they called like chalk brushes or chalk paint brushes. You can kind of look it up online. But those are typically not good for detailing because usually they're wood. They have a metal ferrule, obviously the part that holds the bristles themselves. And so yeah, you just first thing you want to have is no metal, so you have a plastic ferrule on there.
Yep.
And then of course the bristles is kind of what matters, I think, ultimately. You don't want something that's going to scratch paint, or you want it to be coarse but not too coarse, have some strength to it but not scratch stuff up. So
right.
But yeah, I wish I could take credit for that one, but that's that was invented a long time ago.
Well, yeah, I didn't think you invented it, but I just haven't seen too many companies come up with the proper. I think Proper Detailing is the only company I've seen with this brush handle, and I think it's a great brush handle. First time I got the package, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like these, kind of too small, too skinny. But then I got to using it, and I was like, no, it's pretty good, pretty comfortable. I enjoy the Proper Detailing handle. Like Dewar said, the hole perfect for hanging.
For sure.
So,
yeah, I think when you first look at them, I appreciate that. They do look a little too small, especially the white ones. I think
because
some people,
we're kind of trained now to want that fat handle.
The thickness. Yep.
Yeah, we can thank Detail Factory for that, right?
Yep. Yeah. Them and every other company that pumps out a brush line, has to have the Detail Factory handle. I think they're overlooking kind of what you found here. Very lightweight, comfortable handle.
Because I haven't used the proper ones yet, but it's amazing how you pick up a brush and like some people, they'll look at it and be like, hey, a brush is a brush. But depending on what you're doing, like the ergonomics of it, like you can actually get strain. And I've, by no means do I have any type of carpal tunnel, but even cleaning just 4 wheels or doing whatever, like with some brushes, you can actually, it's amazing how you can feel it. And I couldn't imagine doing it every day and then just ignoring that strain. It looks like these ones are relatively ergonomic to not have that, and the balance looks great on them, to be honest. Yeah, I'm sure you use them a lot more than I do. Well, I haven't used ones yet, but even just in general with brushes, you're detailing every day, and I'm not. So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
I made sure to mess one of them up real good and used one to apply ceramic. It froze up on me. I'm still working on it. I think it'll loosen up one day. Was it probably like a year ceramic? Give it a year. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it back loosened up. We'll see.
You might have to drop in some black.
Yeah. So let's go through the brushes because I think last time you were on YouTube, you probably had like 4 brushes. Now you have the 6? You got the Ultra Soft, Boar's Hair, and the filament. Yeah,
so it's still 4 actually. So let's see what we got here. Obviously, got the white ones here. Right, that's the
there you go.
Very nice.
Just break them down for us.
Yeah. So piano black interiors on Mercedes, stuff like that. This is going to be the way to go for those. This is the I think most people were introduced to this type of filament with, the Detail Factory brushes. They were definitely the first ones in the game there. But
for sure, great for emblems, getting around the paint.
That's right. Emblems, especially if you just paint corrected a car and you really don't. These are the way to go. So the first brush that we launched was the Boar's Hair brush, which I think is kind of the ultimate multi-purpose brush. I mean, you can just about do anything with it. I'm sure you guys have seen this one here. It's got the little plastic wrapper on there. I sometimes will even use this on some of the more intricate components inside in piano black because, you just kind of get used to certain manufacturers being softer than others. Certain parts. But I catch myself using this on wheels, leather seats, just about everywhere. So I think if you're going to only buy one set, the Boar's Hair is the way to go.
Right.
And,
It's going to cover more jobs for you
for
than
sure.
the Ultra Soft. You're not going to want to pull out the, Ultra Soft brush during a disaster detail. Ain't going to help you much.
No, you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah, you get the
Yeah.
new cars, you get, big nav screens. You're going to want a set of Ultra Softs to have, but
Yeah.
definitely starting out, get you some boar's hair. You're going to tackle a lot of jobs with them.
For sure. And I also use this. I keep one in the glove box in my car. It's great for just dusting. So dusting navigation screens. So that's the one that I keep in the car. And then this is kind of a middle ground brush. This is a synthetic filament brush. It's actually the bristles are like they're a nylon PBT blend, and they basically taper at the end. So it's got a very, very fine taper at the end, and they are really good for doing interior work. I use these on window seals a lot, like when you just foamed the exterior of the car and you're trying to get into the window seals.
Yep.
These are stiff and super narrow, so they're great for that. Mirrors, inside mirrors.
But this is the brush I messed up. Don't apply ceramic with the black, any of them, but yeah, you'll freeze up a brush real quick.
Yeah. We'll have to
remember to do that degreaser soak.
Yeah.
And of course, these are the new ones here. These are the wheel brushes.
Yeah.
So
chart for you. Got a brand new microfiber wheel woolly set.
Yeah,
Very cool.
So
I jumped on these pretty quick.
Pretty, I like these. We worked for the manufacturer in Korea on these guys. And there's an 18-inch brush, and then there is a bit more narrow. You can't tell with the camera, but this is flat, so it's a little more helpful in getting in between brake calipers.
Yeah,
and that's
I love they came in a set. I was surprised by that. I didn't thought it was going to be one brush, and it was a set of them. So I like that.
Okay.
And you can get two brushes for a third of the price of a certain company's one, whatever magic brush they think it's called. So great wheel woolies to start out with for sure.
Yeah, and I think
so with those. I was going to ask with the wheel woolies, are those brush part, is that like permanently attached, or do those come off at all, or is it kind of all
so on these they are permanently attached. I mean, if you really wanted to, there is a you could take it off there.
Yeah.
The next set they're going to be removable. We can pull them off.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Throw them in the washer, but I wanted to go ahead and get them launched and not wait.
No, sure.
So they still work really well. It's the other thing I decided to do, just kind of based on feedback, is nix the knuckle guard. My recommendation is just don't punch the rim.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
the handles are plenty long enough. That's not going to happen. Unless you're grabbing hold of the the shaft and not the foam grip, then it might happen.
Right.
I can see that. Get some soap on there. Don't do that. Grab the foam handle.
Yep.
And get your work done. But even they're not removable. They're such a good price. You just kind of run them into the ground. By the time you get done with 10 details, you're ready for another set of them.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So ones with removable would be cool in the
knuckle
future.
guards there.
Mike wants to know what's the narrowest it goes. So what's the more narrow brush?
The narrow one is about an inch. The next set is going to be, I think you can go a little more narrow, but you're going to kind of find yourself yanking on it. And kind of, obviously microfiber is not as strong as some materials like those, like the easy detail brush. It's a little more malleable because it's plastic. And you can kind of just jam it in there and kind of do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's right around an inch or a little less. But once the removable one comes, it's going to be a little bit more narrow.
So that's a good question too. Why'd you go microfiber instead of nylon or whatever the wheel woolly woolies? I don't know what that fabric is, but I guess woolly.
Yeah,
Why microfiber?
Kind of back to the original question you asked, why detailing brushes? It's kind of that gap there. There's not a lot of microfiber brushes out there. for painted wheels or for, those black wheels that you really don't want to scratch. There are some wheel surfaces out there like aftermarket rims that do scratch pretty easily.
Mhm.
Just kind of that option that's not as common was kind of the goal there.
First, Puerto Rico wants to know, do they bend? I don't think they do.
Nope, not these guys. They are stiff.
They are pretty straightforward wheel brush.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
one thing I like about that kind of softer material opposed to the bristle ones. I know Jamie got a little arts and crafty with his because the handle broke, so kudos to him. But I find that I actually will foam on a wheel product onto the brush, and because it's microfiber, it holds so much of the liquid in the product that like you can kind of just keep going, and there's not as much sling back. That's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of been an overlooked problem with the easy detail ones, because I had a knockoff easy detail that lasted about 5 minutes, and but yeah, even you kind of had to be on the side and be a little bit intricate with how you're cleaning the wheels. But with the microfiber ones, you can kind of be straightforward with it, and it's still able to get 90% of the wheel. Maybe not on a caliper on some calipers, but most you probably can. But I like that it just holds the solution and kind of keeps it lubricated throughout, kind of cleaning the barrel and even spokes and face over on it.
Yeah, non-microfibers, you have to reload about halfway through the wheel.
Jamie's got to take him to Foam Town, as he would do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Foam saves the day.
The spraying effect of the the easy detail brush. Probably my least favorite part about it. You're pulling it out and it's spraying you in the face, and it's just like, they're good for what they do, but that's a problem. So
I've certainly had brake dust specks on my leg. Why? So
at this point, I probably have like suntan spots of the spots they put on you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Tans.
Yeah,
terrible. Mine doesn't do it as often. I think that probably means I should buy a new one. It's probably a little too floppy these days. Dewar had him an orange one, nice orange easy detail rip-off brush, and it disintegrated on it.
The rubber grip handle had like a kind of a twisted metal bit that went into the brush, and that just kind of failed. So
a good old orange.
That's all right.
Do it every time. Yep.
That's what you get for low quality. So.
It bites you in the butt every time. It's like them Amazon brushes. Don't do it.
Yep.
Those wooden handles ain't the way
and
to go.
I'm only doing stuff on weekends. Like, it would have lasted 8 seconds if I was doing this as a job. Holy smokes.
Right.
But yeah, I think brushes, it's important to kind of, get the solid good ones, and I think Proper kind of fits right in that middle ground of, it's not cheap, kind of Amazon special ones, and it's not the full-blown expensive detail factory. It's a good little mix, and even if you're just starting out, for example, you can still have quality that's going to last you, but even for the pros, I think it's more than sufficient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, well, before we get into this question, any more brush ideas you got coming down the pipeline?
Well, it's at some point in time, I hope to launch essentially like a version 2 of this, where it's all one piece instead of a ferrule that attaches the handle, and possibly offer just different options on that, just because I think they'll last a bit longer that way. You don't have to worry about, sometimes if you leave a brush in the bottom of the bucket, the ferrules can crack and that kind of thing. So definitely recommend hang drying them when you're done. They'll last a lot longer that way if you hang dry them. Sometimes guys will throw the brushes in the bottom of the bucket and then throw other cleaning stuff on top of them. Yeah. So this stuff will crack over time. So I think a solid design is going to be a lot more durable long term. So I'm not sure when that's going to happen. That's going to require a whole new mold and whole new production process. But I think it'll be worth it. But other than that, no other brush ideas. The next product will probably be microfiber drying towel.
Okay. Yeah, that was my next slide. Any thoughts on proper expansion outside of just detailing brushes? So we're talking towels. What do you see in the drying towel section that you think you can capitalize on?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of options out there, and
Yeah, big
but
time.
a lot of them are 1200, 1300 GSM. So I actually
Yep.
found a manufacturer that does a 1600 GSM towel in South Korea, and so this thing here is
Sheesh.
kind of hard to tell.
That's a
but-
beefy boy.
What I kind of liked about this particular towel here is that you don't need a really big one in size as far as length.
Mhm.
You can almost get away with
Right,
something
no.
small, so you're not dragging it on the ground. And because
Yep.
it's so dense, something that's 2 feet long by maybe 1.5 feet can dry a whole truck. But
Yep.
it's going to be the issue with this thing is that because it's so dense, it is going to be a little pricey. I'm going to obviously do my best to keep it within reason.
Sure.
But so yeah, that's probably going to be the next thing. But at some point in time, I think the big picture vision is to have a total detailing product line.
Nice.
But what's important to me is just everything needs to work well and be quality at a
Yeah.
reasonable price. I
Mhm.
don't want to do the kind of chemical guys approach and just launch products left and right and see what sticks.
Yep.
Not hitting on CG, but just saying, I want it proper to kind of have a reputation for being quality.
Yeah.
And having, so.
Well, I think that reputation is there, and I'm looking forward to continuing to go down that path. Do you got anything to add?
Yeah, kind of as you said, I think it's easy to get caught up in that. You have the ability to launch so much one time to really grow, but I think if you focus on the quality, I think that's important. So, baby steps, and I think the success will come. And as long as the people are able to support you and they realize they have a quality product, I think that's what's most important. So I think there's a lot of keep doing what you're doing sort of deal. It sounds like you're doing quite well. And but yeah, I think it's a neat design. I think it's I don't envy it. It's got to be difficult to get into the brush game too. To kind of set yourself apart. But yeah, like I said, you're doing good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think it's real easy just to grab some, Detail Factory clones and pump out a
Yep.
brush company. But you didn't do that, and I like it. I like
Mhm.
the way you're going about it.
Appreciate it, guys.
I think most everybody else would have did the Detail Factory clones, and probably even charged more. It'd been $30 or so brushes,
Yeah.
and I've seen it. But yeah, so let's get into some live chat Q&A. If you got some questions for Matt here, feel free to hit him up, and we'll get them answered. Yeah, I like your towel idea too, though. I do like a controllable drying towel. Recently, these seem like people are competing with who can come out with the most gigantic towel in the history of
That's right.
towels. And yeah, I haven't been enjoying too many of them. I've actually been
Yeah,
liking the 12 by 12 plush ones. Like
Yes,
the way you
it's
kind of
good
picked up.
size.
Yeah, I love it. And you
Yeah, I
can
know,
dry a whole truck with it.
I know Jamie and I can certainly be towel snobs a little bit. I think
Oh yeah.
our towel collections are quite extensive. But yeah, that's the thing. I think it's hard to find a sweet spot for a towel. Like a couple of years ago, even I was all about the big towels and just sit it on the panel and drag it off. But then, the more you like, okay, maybe a big towel isn't so bad. Like, yeah, I can fold it, but I like the kind of the smaller ones, as Jamie said, for a lot of things. I'm doing a lot of cars and smaller SUVs. I'm not doing big trucks, but yeah, I find myself. But yeah, it's I'm sure you tell.
Yep. Martin Gonzalez asks, is there a specific recommended way you would recommend drying the ultra soft brushes after cleaning, hang or air dry, or would this stiffen the brush?
Yeah, so recommend hanging all of the brushes, including, if you have the space, the wheel brushes. The best way, in my opinion, and everybody has their own method to kind of clean these guys, is if you have a 5-gallon bucket with a grit guard in the bottom and just enough water to kind of stick the brush down in there and agitate it on the grit guard and kind of use your fingers to essentially pinch it and get all the chemicals out of there and then hang dry it. I've seen people use pressure washers to clean them and stuff like that, but you're going to end up damaging the brush. I think some people have asked me before, sent me an email saying, hey, what solution do I need to use? I think just water is good because all three of them are chemical resistant. So you don't need to use any solution to clean them unless you use some pretty hardcore tire cleaner or something like that, like Jamie did.
Yeah,
Ceramic
that actually ties into a question that I had. Have you had any, I guess, feedback or any chemicals that have adversely affected, like the,
Good question.
I don't know if you want to call it a glue or something like that holds the bristles in to prevent it from falling out? Like, is there anything that you've
Might as well
heard
throw a
back
glue
from
question
feedback
up.
that have kind of fallen out at all? Any strong acids
Yeah.
or anything either way?
Not yet. And I think
Yeah.
partially because I think a lot of the customer base is pretty educated on what they're using for the car. Like I think people that are using proper detailing company brushes are probably not using Dawn dish soap to clean their car and stuff
Right.
like that.
You hope
I think-
not, at least. Or putting
Yeah.
coatings on their brushes, Jamie.
Yeah, I think there's probably something out there that could degrade the the glue, but it has to be probably harmful to you as a person at that point. But I don't think there's anything. There's not any feedback that I've gotten. So,
Yeah.
Now, as far as what type of glue, actually, offhand, I can't recall the actual name of the glue. I mean, it's an industrial grade glue that's designed for for this type of application, like holding, bonding two different material types together. Bristles of plastic. So I can't recall the chemical name, but it is industrial grade. So
not
cool.
Elmer's glue that the Amazon brushes use. Totally not Elmer.
Mhm.
Not a glitter glue you get in a school pencil kit.
Yeah.
That'd be a good option. Maybe we can do some glitter brushes next.
There you go.
Yeah. Humberto says, I would suggest that the brushes have like a hook so you can hang from the bucket and don't go inside the bucket. Just hang there. So some hook brushes, bucket
Okay.
hook brushes. That's interesting.
So is he suggesting actually on the brush itself?
I think on the brush, I think he's, yeah.
I'm assuming a
That's,
cutout on the handle is what he would kind of like leave one side open, I think is what
Yeah.
he.
That's actually a really interesting idea.
That's a pretty good idea. Might take a grinder and to test it out for you.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
good
there
stuff
you
from
go.
Puerto Rico. There we go.
That is a
Yep.
good question. That's also a very good idea. So
Martin Gonzalez says, I assume using tar remover is not recommended. It can be pretty strong tar remover.
yeah,
But I actually did this yesterday. I had a very severe tar case come in, and I took some brushes to it for sure.
Yeah.
And they discolored a little bit, but might have to get some more brushes. I don't think it's recommended. I think it's definitely not recommended. I'll say that.
I think you posted that on your Instagram, didn't you? You did that late at night.
Yep.
Yeah, probably helps
Wait
avoid
till
the
as
heat. doesn't
cool as possible. Yep.
it? Mhm.
Definitely. But yeah, acids and tar removers probably want to stay away from, but sometimes you got to brush some stuff in. Get a vehicle bad enough. Had a dually
exactly.
come in that just had the back wheels rotated for the first time in like 15 years. And he was like,
Ooh.
if you can save my wheels, that'd be great. And they were just baked in
I
brake
would say
dust,
so.
just a ring of it. So
Jeez.
I had to take some acid and a brush to that too. So there's situations where you definitely have to brush some acid or brush with a tar remover, but I can't say that
I would
my
just.
brush
I
fell
would have
apart
told the guy to.
afterwards.
I would have told him to buy some new wheels. Styles for 15 years.
You don't know the cheapos I deal with.
Yeah.
I can barely get them in my driveway.
The deep south cheapos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's funny.
Let me see here. Good luck wringing a large towel. Yeah, it's hard to wring some of these towels they're coming out with these days.
Mhm.
So you guys said you got your tile. You have quite the towel collection.
Yeah.
For sure.
When you have to wash big guys like this, what is your experience on being able to get them clean and whatnot?
So we're deep in the towel game, so we have the best towel soap. It's called Rag to Riches. It pretty much does an awesome job of keeping them towels clean.
That is a good product.
I've certainly let some towels sit with some pretty strong sealant type products that, you think are just dead and don't absorb anything. Like I'll actually like use a sealant like Bead Maker or something like that, let it dry for quite some time, and then go on a car and like it doesn't absorb a thing, and then stick it in rags to riches and it revives it completely. It does a really, really good job of breaking everything down. And especially with that type of towel there, I think as soon as you wash it with something like rags to riches, and if you wash it with, I usually wash all my stuff in cold, and then have an extra rinse too to really get the rags to riches out, and then I just air dry it, or tumble dry in the dryer with no heat. But I at least have a couple different drying towels that like I'm not in a rush to, it's like, shoot, I just washed that, I'm going to need it right away. I don't mind letting it dry. Even if it's slightly damp, it still does a pretty good job drying, because sometimes a wet towel can actually dry better. I know it's kind of a bit of a, mind game, but I even if you're somewhere where it's warm, sit it out in the sun for a few minutes. It's not going to be hot enough to melt it, but it's certainly able to dry it. I know, and the funny thing is that with the wringing out thing, that's interesting that you mentioned that was, it was actually on the Auto Fanatic channel. He bought this tool that it was kind of two rollers that you can adjust the compression, and then he would put his towels through that and like crank it, and then it would actually wring the towel out. And I'm like, that is so cool. Not necessary, maybe, but if you're in a busy area where you wash towel and don't have to dry it, wring it out that way, it's a good option. But
I've seen some commercial detail shops have those. Some larger scale detail shops. Yeah, those are neat.
Yeah.
But if you need that towel to tackle 4 or 5 vehicles, that's a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know with that type of weave on that towel, you could probably get, I'd say, a truck and a car at least before it's too saturated. Because they're thirsty boys.
Big time. Yep. Yeah, quality twist loop drying towels, it's easily going to tackle about 1.5, 2 cars.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the concerns that I have as I'm kind of going through and looking at them is, you guys might be able to see this. It's essentially 2 towels combined, right? Yeah. Then you have the stitching, the cross stitching that kind of, can you see that cross stitching? I'm just kind of wondering about durability, washing, going over different surfaces, they might kind of nag that little thread and start to unwind it. But, nothing lasts forever if you're detailing cars regularly with products,
Yeah, for sure. Well, Matt, you got any last minute things you want to plug or say before we get out of here? I think we've covered it.
Yeah, no, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. I love the community. I love the community, guys like yourselves and Mike and who support me and help grow my business. And, couldn't do it without people like yourselves. So I really appreciate you having me on. And Alex, I don't know if you have any proper detailing brushes yet, but I'll send some out your way if you just want to send me a message with your address.
I'll certainly do that.
Yeah, we'll see if the border lets it get to him.
Yeah. I had to send some to Rick with Rad Garage, and I got a call from customs. I didn't put the right paperwork in there, so it took like 3 weeks. So I know how to do it.
Because Rick's 2 hours north of where I am, and I don't know. I think those customs people would be going through the same crossing. They love detailing stuff. I swear to God, they just like to open everything up and play with it. I don't know, but
they like to keep it. And they're like, oh, I can use this.
Maybe we should detail
some nice brushes.
Vehicles, Yeah. So, Mike Detailing loves Proper Detail Co. So
loves Proper Detail Co.
Yeah. Mike loves everything.
Definitely. Mike loves everything. But he was the one who introduced me to the brand. So greatly appreciate it, Mike. Definitely, I think Matt filled that void that we've been talking about the whole episode perfectly. And I want to see Proper Detailing keep doing its thing for sure. So keep the brand going. I can't wait to try some more brushes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. Very cool.
What are the plugs? And we'll get out of here, Matt. Instagram handles, website, hit us with everything. Amazon store.
So website, of course, is properdetailing.com. If you type in properdetailingco.com, it'll redirect you to Proper Detailing. So you can type in either one of those. Of course, Instagram is Proper Detailing Co. Let's see here. And as far as Amazon goes, you're gonna jump in there and type in Proper Detailing Company or Co. And it'll take you to the products. I should have the wheel brushes up on the website probably the next day or so you can order from Amazon or the website.
Sweet.
And that's it. Hoping to have the ability to purchase through Instagram soon as well. I know there's some folks, they like using Apple Pay and things like that. It's quick to buy and versus going to different platforms.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really, we're pretty simple right now. So.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, tell the cats we appreciated the pre-show appearance.
Yeah.
Matt's cats were meowing up a storm. And all right, well, let's get out of here. Follow Alex Dewar at Bucky VW. You can follow me at Jamie the Cleaner. As always, we're available on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I have this one uploaded in the morning.
5 stars,
Check out
people.
the replay.
5 stars.
5 stars. Drop that 5-star review, and we'll catch you next week with another jam-packed episode here on the Cleaner Cast. See y'all later. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.